Hello everyone, Nick here, and yeah, poor Chris Hansen. Oh, poor Quiz! Poor Quiz! Quiz can't handle little criticism! Well, actually, it goes deeper than the criticism issue, but no, he can't handle criticism, ladies and gentlemen. Because if anybody remembers that this one YouTuber by the name of Gus Johnson did a video on Chris Hansen, and if you look here, he talks about how Chris needs help, and there's some light jokes in there. There are a few jabs towards Chris, but then he gets blocked for actually pointing out the mistakes that Chris has been making, such as some of Chris's content not falling under fair use, by the way. But no, we're actually going to get to the real meat and bones of this video. So there's a bit of other problems that are kind of going wrong with this whole situation. There's an Esquire article. Come on, Esquire. Don't keep slapping me with ads. So there's an Esquire article that I'm trying to get to the point through in here. So apparently they looked through the guys. So this is the article right here. Tonight on Dateline, this man will... And it's about Louis Conrad, the guy that they claimed that had the pictures and evidence on his laptop. And what's interesting is if you scroll through the article, I don't know if I can find the section, but they detail it. You can find it where they went through that laptop and nothing illegal was in it. Mutar from Ordinary Gamers, actually, some Ordinary Gamers, I believe, found the portion. And what's really sad is that Chris Hansen came forward and was like, yeah, they went through that laptop and they found stuff. Actually, they didn't. They didn't at all. And so, yeah, it was really damning that they didn't find anything bad on this guy's laptop, Louis Conrad, apparently. So, I can't find it on my screen. It's on Twitter. There's a tweet. I'll just link it in the description where they found it on this article, because I can't really find it. So, also something I wanted to point out, Marques Brownlee, a YouTuber, uncovered the whole truth about the Pablo Escobar phone. Now, there's nothing wrong, Chris. There's nothing wrong with accepting money from people for Cameo. We're not criticizing that. What we are criticizing, Chris, is the people that you're accepting money from and what you're saying. So, if you look here, Exhibit A, promoting the Pablo Escobar phone. Now, if you don't know, if you're not in the know, the Pablo Escobar phone is a fraud phone. It's not real. All it is just them taking the Samsung phone and repackaging it as something else. I'll link this video as well in the description. And basically, they just get Chris Hansen to promote this phone, even though there's no real phone. And yeah, Marques Brownlee proved it. So now you're probably wondering, well, what does this have to do with Chris Hansen covering the victims of Onision and Davi? Well, see, the problem is that Chris Hansen does not have any credibility. And in my opinion, I think the victims that are going to Chris Hansen are actually doing themselves a disservice. This is the problem here. So you know what's funny? I want to point this out because one of these victims from Davi, I believe her name is Noah Riney. She came forward and she talked about it. And a lot of people in the chat were calling her Karen. And you want to know what? Even I called her a Karen. I called her a Karen. And not because she's a victim. There's nothing, being a victim does not make you a Karen. That's not the problem here. The problem here is that she's basically gaslighting this whole situation, this propaganda that Augie and all these people are against the victims. And that never happened. It never happened. So, of course, what had happened, she goes on Chris Hansen's show. And unfortunately, the problem with Chris Hansen is whenever he's interviewing, he's always looking like he's constipated. Like, this is the biggest problem. Like, Chris, take some X-Lax, dude. So I actually left a comment. And then, of course, what do I get? I get this whole situation where I'm Dobby because I'm gay. That makes me Dobby. First off, I want to go on record that I do not like RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm sorry, don't at me. And I do not care for queer. What's that one? Queer Eye for the Straight. The new show is not good in my opinion. I don't really like it. But Pose is pretty good. I recommend go checking out Pose. But you know, just because I'm a part of the LGBT community doesn't mean I'm going to automatically, you know, back whatever. Like I'm a little bit harder than that. I criticize people in my own community, and people in my own community criticize me. Like, I'm totally open to criticism. But that being said, yeah, Chris is totally gaslighting, because if you actually watched Chris Hansen's interview with this girl, all he says is to her is, oh, they're a goon squad. Apparently, hashtag goon squad. But yeah, they're a goon squad. They're attacking. And it's pretty damning that Chris Hansen's live stream has 698 dislikes. That's pretty bad there, Chris. And Chris even had a response video. It was really bad. Like, he threw Repzion under the bus. I was like, bad idea, Chris. Bad idea. You don't want to do that. Apparently, Chris Hansen claims that the reason why Repzion is lodging criticism to Chris is to derail Chris Hansen from Repzion's own drama. So here's the funny thing, and I'm actually going to look at this up right now. So what the drama he's talking about right now is about Drama and Opinions, and I'm going to go to Drama and Opinions channel right now and actually show you guys, because that Repzion video, I believe, was actually taken down. Yeah, I can't find it anywhere. I can't find it. So if I go to Drama and Opinions channel, here we go right now. Oh, that's Animal Crossing. My bad, guys. I should play some more later. But yeah, so if you go through, it was around this period, around the George Floyd and Shallon Lester, she made a video about Repzion. And what's really funny, god damn it. No. Sorry, guys. XSplit's giving me problems. But anyway, so yeah. So she made a video on Repzion with all these false claims. So I think it's funny that Chris Hansen is claiming that Repzion's going through some personal drama when the personal drama was fabricated. So Chris doesn't even know what he's talking about. And if you actually watched Augie's live stream, I'll leave it in the description below, they never attacked this girl. This is not what happened. I was in this live stream. All that happened is the girl, so I'll basically leave you the comment. Girl comes on, right? Girl claims that this channel, Augie's channel, is bashing victims. But the only victim that she brings up is Shiloh. And see, here's the thing about Shiloh. You know what? Here's the thing about the whole victim situation. No one is taking away what happened to these victims. The problem is if you've ever watched Criminal Minds, and you know anything about Criminal Minds, there's an episode where they talk about the abused becomes the abuser. So Shiloh is actually attacking people for covering the Onisan story, if you don't know the whole situation. I'm not going to get into the whole semantics or situation. You guys can check out by Nicholas Diorio or even John Swan. They covered this much better than I could. But apparently Shiloh is basically attacking people because they're victims that don't want the story, some people to cover the story. And they only want Chris Hansen to, which in my opinion, I would not have Chris Hansen. This is my big criticism for Chris Hansen. He should not be the one covering it. Because not only can Chris cannot take any criticism when people are lodged at him, he is not even allowed to go on Augie RFC's show. Because this is my honest-to-God opinion. If Chris Hansen is going to talk about these victims, then he needs to accept responsibility and go on Augie's show. And that the fact that, you know, Chris Hansen, to quote the Chicks, because they changed their name now, Chris Hansen is a gaslighter, big-timer, denier. He's cheated on his wife with Kristen Cattle. He got fired for that. He got fired for doing that whole situation. He hired Vincent Nicotra, who's also very slimy. Mike Morris, who's also in his own legal struggles. He's promoted the Pablo Escobar phone. He's promoted OnlyFans without knowing what OnlyFans is. He doesn't look into things. He's desperate for money. He owes millions of dollars to people. He owes $1 million to his mortgage company. He owes thousands of dollars to banks for defaulting on a lot of past money that he's owned. I don't know what money he's spending. It doesn't make any sense to me, because he had his TCAP show, right? So if he had this show, why does he owe all this money? If he got 8 Emmys, dude, Chris, what are you doing with your money? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it at all. I mean, he can't look up information about Pablo Escobar. He promotes that phone. He promotes nanovapor biotech. I mean, and they're not credible at all. So he talks about COVID-19, even though Chris Hansen has no medical background, so he has no bearing to talk about it. He promotes a girls' OnlyFans. He gaslights the fact that Augie RFC situation, because this girl came onto the stream, and this girl only talked about Shiloh. And you want to know what? Did Diorio get annoyed at this girl? Yeah, he did. But he wasn't attacking her. And she takes that as antagonizing. Look. And the fact that she says sweetheart. And even I'll say it. Look, sweetheart. But they're not attacking you. They're annoyed that you're coming after them. And what do you expect? If you attack someone, even if you're a victim. So let me get this straight. Noah Ray, or whatever your name is, honestly, because you ruined your credibility once you started going on to Chris Hansen. When you are a victim, does being a victim give you the right to attack others? No. Because you want to know something? Audrey Graham from actually no, not Audrey Graham, it was Spinner on freaking Degrassi attacks Drake's character. But just because Spinner had cancer doesn't give him the right to be a jerk to others. Being a victim of abuse does not give you the credibility to attack others. So this whole gaslighting of the situation is really ridiculous. In my opinion, if I was this girl, I'd go back on the show, on Augie RFC's show, and I would actually talk about the victims. I mean, I don't know. I've only watched Augie RFC within the past months. I have never seen Augie RFC attack other victims. And the only times they ever talked about someone that was a joke was Shiloh. So, no, I'm going to just tweet this video out to you, and maybe, we can have a conversation instead of you talking to Chris Hansen, because I don't think you should be talking to Chris Hansen. I would not be trusting Chris. Because there's a lot of things that Chris have done that's really wrong, that he's gaslighting and making people look bad. And lest we forget, Chris only got to where he was because the community backed him. And if he attacks the community, do you think the community is going to back Chris on attacking them? I don't think so. So, guys, I just wanted to make this video to get it out there, because Chris can't really handle criticism, and he can't really learn and evolve. So even when he does take the criticism, he can't really learn and evolve. So I hope Noah Ren, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but let's talk about the situation. Maybe that would make you feel better. So guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.